The governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress in Rivers State, Tonye Cole, says when elected into office, his administration would restore the status of Bonny Island as a global business hub. He said this with a view to attracting multi-layered value chains in the oil and gas, tourism, manufacturing, maritime and other investment sectors to the Niger Delta region. Cole said this when he led APC chieftains and party faithfuls on a courtesy visit to the Bonny Chiefs Council at the King Perekule Palace, Bonny. He was received on behalf of the amiable and natural ruler of Grand Bonny Kingdom by the Vice Chairman of the Bonny Chiefs Council, Sir Alabonhano Jack Wilson Pepo, who is also the chief and head of Jack Wilson Pepo Major House of Bonny Kingdom.
The name Bonny has been synonymous for many years in every seminar I've been to anywhere. When they're talking about Nigeria and they're talking about this industry, Bonny is mentioned in the same breath as all of those people, or all of those places. But I think that's about where the similarity ends. For many years I've agitated about it because when we talk about the world map and we talk about the center of some of these activities, Nigerian LNG, the Bonny crude that is one of the best that we have produced in Nigeria and has done so much for the Nigerian economy. The people and the landscape and the map that Bonny should represent is a far cry from what it should be. For many of us who've been in that industry and have traveled for a very, very long time and have crisscrossed the world, whether at the World Economic Forum, the United Nations, whether in Houston at the OTC and all of that, many people have never been to Bonny, but the picture they have in their head of what Bonny should be is what they see in Houston and what they see in Rotterdam and what they see across at The Hague or wherever the center of most of the companies that have benefited from Bonny should be. We know it's not true. And so when we then want to have seminars or we want to invite people to come to where the center or one of the centers of our industry is, that's when we realize that we still have a bit of shame in us, that we are not where we should be. And at such times, the burden of leadership then falls on us. As we are coming here, we're going to let it be. I saw the two hovercrafts of Bonny Island and LNG heading out with gunboats escorting them. You can't bring people as tourists coming to see this great kingdom of Bonny, and the only way they can get here is with gunboats and all. We will never develop that way. So there are things that we must do and there are things that we have to work together to change. We're grateful that in the near future, the road will be completed. It's nearly done. It's part of the development that should have been done many, many years ago, part of it. But it's still just one small step away from what we ought to do.
He regretted that the perception about Bonny Island across the global business community was a far cry from the reality on ground, promising that when elected into office as governor, he would engage the leadership of Bonny Kingdom in charting a long-term and sustainable development template for the island. He took exception to the denigration of traditional stools in the state by politicians, noting that such disrespect to ancient institutions that predate even Nigeria's nationhood and outlive political office tenures was uncalled for, assuring that his administration would confer deserving veneration on traditional rulers in the state. The Rivers APC gubernatorial hopeful traced his family ties to Bonny, disclosing that his first cousins were from the Banigo Major House of Grand Bonny Kingdom, while noting the riverine communities parades an array of egalitarian families and communities with rich historical heritage.
I also have in-laws in Bonny, the Banigos, Owen and Apribo Banigo of the Banigo Major House of Bonny. They are direct in-laws, my first cousins. Auntie Ella, who is late, Koko, was married to my uncle. And so my first cousins are both also from Bonny. Ferdinand Banigo is an in-law. We grew up with great names, knowing Bonny for a long time, the Jumbos, the Hearts, the Purples, the Dublin Greens, Tolo Faris, all the great names that have been mentioned here. It's our way in the riverine communities that we have great houses that have held tradition for a very long time. They are very proud. They are walk-in houses. They built, they traded for a long time. They interacted, educated, and excelled in many ways for many years.
He thanked the Bonny Kingdom monarch and his council of chiefs for receiving him and his entourage, comprising of party stewards and faithfuls.
Bonny is home in many ways, to the council of chiefs that are here, to the entire segment of Bonny, the elders, the men, the women, the youths. I want to say thank you very much for welcoming us into this kingdom today.
Responding, representative of the Bonny Kingdom monarch, Sir Alabohano Jack Wilson Pepple, welcomed the APC governorship candidate and his entourage, stating that Bonny Kingdom's corporate posture has always been that of inclusion and equal opportunity, and such does not discriminate.
You will have observed that all the strata of this kingdom is adequately represented here. The Chiefs Council, the title citizens, Waroku Senapu and Wari Senapu, the men forum, the women forum, the youth forum. So you have that one of us here to say that as a kingdom, we do not discriminate or segregate. We don't do that here. Every reverse man is our brother and our sister. And in your midst, we also have our own children here. So, as fathers, all our children and all of them are treated equally, recognized equally, respected equally. So I want to welcome you, thanking God Almighty as the Reverend prayed for granting you journey mercies to be here.